A thread by Brian the Great. President Trump has been preparing the public for more than a year now for a major tectonic shift as what the Chinese Communist Party has been doing to us through our own political class, and it will be fully exposed, including election fraud. Josh Phillip of the Epoch Times explains.
The Chinese Communist Party has a saying when it comes to their warfare, psychological warfare operations, and other forms of subversion: strangle you with your own systems. In other words, observing how different countries operate, what is controversial within their systems, how does their system function, how can we use those systems to twist things around, to cause chaos, to mess things up, to use it against them. You say you believe in free speech? We'll have protests in your own backyard calling you out. You say you believe in free press? Well, we'll start up state-run media in your country, and we'll use those state-run media to lie to your population, to spread our propaganda. That's what they do. You believe in free markets? How about we bring state-run companies that can sell below cost and put your companies out of business and take over your industries? That's what they're doing, right? Strangle you with your own systems. And what is controversial in the United States? What is most controversial? Racism. This race narrative, they know they can use it. They've been doing it for a very long time. There are different groups, for example, Committee of 100 in the US, who every time a Chinese spy is arrested, they call it racism, because they know that's what we're sensitive to. The Chinese military has a doctrine on this, the three warfares doctrine: psychological warfare, media warfare, and legal warfare. This is publicly adopted into their military doctrine. This is part of their military system. Now, what are these? Psychological warfare is not necessarily lying to you. Psychological warfare is altering how you interpret information. And so when you see a virus coming out of China and people say this virus came out of China, if you call it the Chinese virus, they want to use this and twist it around and say it is racist if you talk about the origin of this virus. What is media warfare? Media warfare is the manipulation or control of outlets of information, not just news outlets, but say social media, online platforms, the ability to speak openly. Anything that would allow people to communicate would be a target of media warfare. And what is legal warfare? Legal warfare is a manipulation of international legal systems. The Chinese Communist Party, for them, this is adopted into their military code. This is war fighting to them.
Brian continues. Pay attention and watch this video twice to make sure you grasp why this had to be done slowly. This is a video by Thomas Wichter. Link in the thread. 6 minutes, 23 seconds long, so I'm not going to play it here, but check it out. It's in the thread. Brian continues. Let me explain why your first impulse, that he should just spill everything in the Oval Office address to the nation about China having control of the US political class, wouldn't work. How many people would have believed that in March of this year if he had told them then? Looking into the camera from the Oval Office in March 2020, Trump claims, quote, most of our country's political elites are compromised by the Chinese Communist Party. They are helping China sabotage their own nation. What do you think would have happened next? Over half the country would have never believed him, maybe 70%. They would have reacted exactly the way Neo did.
I came to realize the obviousness of the truth. What is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth.
Stop. Let me out! Let me out! I want out!
Easy, Neo. Easy.
Get this thing. Don't touch me! Get away from me! Stay away from me! I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
It's gonna pop.
Breathe.
Just breathe.
Let me explain why your first impulse. Sorry. Let me continue. Brian continues. Now, after almost a year of watching the behavior of governors of their own states, the mayors of their own cities, their lawmakers in Congress, deliberately trying to sabotage their own nation and chalking it up to Trump derangement syndrome, they are ready to learn the brutal truth. The real reason many in the political class are trying to take down their own country is far more sinister than all these elites have a bad case of TDS. The real reason all these powerful and influential Americans in state and federal government, in corporate media, in big tech are acting like totalitarians from a communist country is because, are you sitting down? They have all become agents of a hostile foreign power. If Trump had just told everybody this back in March when the virus lockdowns started, probably about 70% of the country doesn't believe him. How many do you think would believe him now, especially when the evidence accumulated over the past year is displayed? You have to ease the public into the fact that enough of the powerful elite class in America allowed itself to be compromised by hostile foreign powers that when they look back, the insanity of the past year suddenly makes sense. None of these people are actually insane or brain-addled with Trump derangement syndrome. They do what they do because the Chinese Communist Party got to them by one means or another, and that is why they are acting like anti-American revolutionaries out to sabotage their own country. Listen carefully to what Trump said in the next tweet about what will be his greatest legacy as president of the United States. It's going to be causing all of these compromised people and what they've been doing to America to be exposed so they are removed from power forever. And the greatest act of treason against their own country that all of these compromised people worked together to pull off was attempting to steal the federal election of 2020. They've been stealing elections for themselves and foreign powers for years. Link in the thread. Pretty sure this is a Thomas Wichter video, but let me just make absolutely certain. Oh, yes. 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Thomas Wichter. Can't you get it through your head? Link in the thread. Trump just telling you back in 2017 or 2018 or 2019 or back in March of 2020 what they were doing to their own country would have led nowhere. 70% of the country would not have believed him. They had to be shown the brutal truth. They had to watch these people do it. Russiagate, Spygate, Obamagate, whatever you prefer to call it, was run from Beijing by the CCP using its compromised agents over here in the United States, in our government. Both law enforcement, intel, diplomatic agencies, in our own U.S. corporate media, in our big tech platforms. Imagine You're about to take over a federal government where many of the key people in it are not only your vicious political opponents, you know they are actually compromised and working as foreign agents for a hostile power. Would you even want that job? This man volunteered for it. And he's going to get the job done. He's going to expose them all. Circle January 5th, 2021 on your calendars. He's going to drop it all by then.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.